Russian-backed Syrian troops launched an offensive in late 2017 against militants and other groups in Idlib, the last province in the country still fully outside the government's control. Well, for more now on the situation there, I'm joined on the set by France 24's expert in terrorist movement, Wassim Nasr. Wassim, what exactly is the situation in and around Idlib at the moment?
Actually, as you said, the Syrian army and loyalist militias from different nationalities, Shia militias, got in a big fight against rebel factions in Idlib, and they got to advance really quickly in the last 100 days. So they took very important roads, very important villages, and today they are at the outskirts of the military airport of Abu Duhur, which is a very strategic location. So yes, of course, with the help of Russian airplanes, they got to advance, but the cost was very high on both sides because they lost many men in this fight. The rebels also and jihadi factions lost many men, and as you said at the beginning, we saw the exodus of more than 200,000 people in this region.
Wassim, what have you been able to find out from your connections? What rebel factions are still in Idlib, and is there still an Al-Qaeda presence there?
Actually, a month ago, I visited the region and I got to interact with very prominent jihadi preachers, if you may say, and they told me things that are happening today. So if we look at the last speech of Joulani, who's the head of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, formerly the Nusra Front, so formerly Al-Qaeda's hands in Syria, we see that he spoke of many things. He emphasized that the fight in Syria is a revolution, which is a term rarely used by jihadi factions. So a revolution against Assad, but also to implement the Sharia law. He attacked rebel factions who said are in a way collaborating with Damascus by attacking Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. He emphasized also on the same fate for foreign fighters and for local fighters. But what we saw that regarding this fight, he put a frame for it. So he talked about 100 days fight, and he talked about the fight on the east of the railroad. So by saying this, he is like accepting the loss of this territory, and at the same time, he is accepting that he was saying publicly one more time that he is no longer affiliated to Al-Qaeda. And when we look at this, it is mostly real, because the people I got to meet in the region were not okay at all regarding either to support Joulani in his friction with Al-Qaeda or to support Al-Qaeda. And we're talking about jihadi scholars. And we saw in the last days that Al-Qaeda had a new group fighting, we just saw the images, against the Syrian army in this region called Jaish al-Badia, with very prominent, these are the images, the footage, with very prominent jihadi leaders who were present in Syria since 2012. So today we can say that the region, Idlib, is like a summary of the war in Syria for 7 years. We see factions are rebel factions, jihadi factions, Islamic factions, foreign fighters, either on the regime side or on the rebel side, fighting all together in this region, which is out of control of Damascus, of course, but also as all the north of Syria under the control of the Kurds, for example.
Wassim, thank you for that. France 24's Wassim Nasr.